There are songs that make you tap your foot, and then there are songs that define who we are. These 10 country classics didn't just top charts. They told our story. They carried our heartbreak, our pride, our faith, and our grit. Hey everyone, welcome back to Country Callbacks, where we dust off the vinyl, relive the moments, and celebrate the songs that shaped America. So pour yourself a cup of coffee, settle into that recliner, and let's count down 10 country songs that changed history forever.
I see you coming into view, and your face is telling me that you,
Some country songs are about heartbreak. Some are about history. Johnny Horton's The Battle of New Orleans took a forgotten war story and turned it into a toe-tapping anthem of American pride.
Old Hickory said we could take them by surprise if we didn't fire muskets till we looked them in the eye.
In 1959, it hit #1 and stayed there for 6 weeks, even winning a Grammy for Best Country and Western Performance. The song retells the final major battle of the War of 1812, when General Andrew Jackson and a ragtag group of frontiersmen, farmers, and sharpshooters defeated the mighty British Army in New Orleans. What made it special was the way Horton sang it, not like a textbook, but like a campfire story. He turned a bloody battle into something fun, clever, and deeply American, complete with banjos and fiddles that made listeners smile as they sang about victory. It reminded a post-war generation that history wasn't just dates and names. It was courage, humor, and grit. Horton was known as a singing historian, also recording hits about Alaska and frontier life before his tragic death in 1960. In just a few short years, he left a mark that's still felt in every patriotic country tune today. From the coal dust of Butcher Hollow, Kentucky, came a voice that changed everything.
When I was born to coal miner's daughter.
Loretta Lynn's Coal Miner's Daughter wasn't just her story. It was the story of every working-class family in America. It reached #1 in 1970, inspired an Oscar-winning film, and made millions proud of their roots. The song paints a vivid picture of her childhood, hauling water, wearing hand-me-down clothes, and watching her father labor in the coal mines just to keep food on the table. It was one of the first country songs to shine a light on rural poverty without pity, only pride. For many Americans, it became a mirror of their own upbringing, a reminder that hard work and faith were the backbone of the nation. Loretta was one of the first women to write her own hits, something few female artists dared to do back then. She wrote songs about real life, motherhood, love, and hard times. And she did it while raising 6 children and touring non-stop, proving you can be humble, strong, and legendary all at once.
Scrubbed our clothes on a washboard every day.
She said, "Here's your one chance, Fancy. Don't let me down."
Woman wore a half-grown kid, it stood. She said, here's your one chance, Fancy, don't let me down. She said, here's your one chance, Fancy, don't let me down.
Reba McEntire turned Bobby Gentry's 1969 song into an empowerment anthem for a new generation. Fancy told the story of hardship and survival, the kind of story country fans know too well. The song follows a poor young girl whose mother, desperate to give her a better life, sends her out into the world with a red dress and a warning to make something of herself, no matter the cost. Beneath the flashy surface, it's a raw tale about class, sacrifice, and the lengths women go to escape poverty. What could have been a tragedy becomes triumph. Fancy rises from shame and struggle to success, never forgetting where she came from. When Reba released her version in 1990, it became one of her signature songs and a feminist statement in disguise. She even built a full cinematic music video around it, telling Fancy's story from rags to riches, complete with a haunting mansion and a red convertible as symbols of transformation. Over time, Reba's Fancy became a rallying cry for resilience, proof that strength and grace can rise from the toughest beginnings. Few songs capture the feeling of home like this one.
Heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River.
John Denver's Take Me Home Country Roads became an anthem not just for West Virginia, but for anyone who's ever missed home. It was written by Bill Danoff and Taffy Nivert, who'd never even been to West Virginia, but Denver's pure voice made it real. The lyrics paint a picture so vivid: blue-ridged mountains, the Shenandoah River, the open road, that listeners could feel the nostalgia even if they'd never set foot in Appalachia. It's more than a song about a place. It's about belonging and that quiet ache we all feel when we're far from what we love. To this day, it's sung at football games, reunions, and graduations, anywhere people feel that deep pull of home. Over 50 years later, its message still lands. No matter how far we roam, there's always a road that leads us back.
Take me home, country road.
Jolene, 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 Jolene. Oh, I'm begging of you, please don't take my man.
In 1973, Dolly Parton turned jealousy into art. Inspired by a real red-headed bank clerk who flirted with her husband, Dolly poured her heart into this song, and it became an instant classic. What makes Jolene timeless is its vulnerability. Instead of anger, Dolly sings with fear and admiration, pleading, not accusing. It's a rare kind of honesty that cuts straight to the heart. The song's haunting simplicity, just her voice, a steady guitar, and that unforgettable name, turns a personal insecurity into a universal feeling. It's one of the most covered songs in history. Over 400 versions and counting, from the White Stripes to Miley Cyrus. And here's the kicker. Dolly wrote Jolene and I Will Always Love You on the same day. Two of the greatest songs of all time, born from the same burst of inspiration. That's not luck. That's Dolly.
He is beyond compare, with flaming locks of auburn hair, with ivory skin and eyes of emerald green.
September 11th, 2001. A day America will never forget.
Where were you when the world stopped turning that September day?
Alan Jackson didn't try to explain it. He simply asked, "Where were you?" He wrote it just weeks after the attacks, in the middle of the night, when he couldn't sleep. The song captured our grief, our faith, and our unity, all in one quiet melody. With lyrics like, "I watched the night turn today, and I wonder where you were," Jackson painted a portrait of a nation stunned, searching for meaning and holding on to hope. Unlike many patriotic songs, it didn't rely on grandeur or slogans. It was deeply personal, inviting every listener to reflect on their own moment of shock and loss. Its simplicity and sincerity resonated so strongly that it became an anthem for mourning and remembrance across the country. It won multiple CMA awards, including Song of the Year and Single of the Year. And at the 2001 CMA Awards, Jackson's live performance brought the entire audience to tears. Because sometimes the softest songs say the most.
Did you burst out in pride for the red, white, and blue? The heroes who died just to...
Love is a burning thing, and no one burned brighter than Johnny Cash.
Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring.
Written by June Carter about her feelings for Cash before they married, Ring of Fire changed country music forever. Those iconic horns came from Cash's dream after listening to Mexican mariachi bands. But beyond the sound, the song captures the tension between desire and danger, showing how love can both uplift and consume. Cash once said it was about the kind of love that's dangerous and worth it. And every note conveys that struggle between temptation and devotion. The song's fiery imagery, Burning, burning, burning mirrors the intensity of human emotion, making it instantly relatable across generations. Ring of Fire crossed over to the pop charts, showing that country music could have universal appeal without losing its edge. Over time, it became a signature for Cash, a song that reflected both his personal life and the darker, passionate side of Americana. Few could make sin sound that beautiful.
I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And
Willie Nelson wrote it, but Patsy Cline lived it.
Crazy. I'm crazy for feeling so.
When Crazy hit radios in 1961, Patsy's velvet voice blended heartbreak with elegance. Just months before recording, Patsy had been in a near-fatal car crash in Nashville, Tennessee, where she was thrown through the windshield, suffering a dislocated hip, a broken wrist, and a large gash across her forehead. She spent weeks in the hospital, and doctors even feared she might not survive. Despite the extensive injuries and permanent scarring, she returned to performing, appearing on the Grand Ole Opry while still on crutches. Many thought she might never sing again, but once Patsy stepped back up to the mic, she delivered one of the most haunting vocal takes in history, infusing the song with a depth only hardship could create.
I'm crazy for trying, and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you.
If heartbreak had a sound, it would sound like this.
He said, I'll love you till I die. She told him, forgetting time.
George Jones's He Stopped Loving Her Today is widely called the greatest country song ever written. The song tells the story of a man who loved a woman until the day he died, holding on to his devotion even as life went on without her. It took Jones months to record it. He hated the sad lyrics at first and even struggled with the emotional toll of singing it. Producer Billy Sherrill's meticulous production, the slow build, the mournful strings, and Jones's weary voice created a haunting realism that made listeners feel every moment of longing and loss. When it was finished, it brought him back from near obscurity and won CMA Song of the Year 2 years in a row. Its emotional resonance was so strong that even tough guys cried the first time they heard it, and it became a touchstone for anyone who had ever loved and lost. Because love doesn't die, it just finds a melody.
First time I'd seen him smiling you. He stopped loving her today.
And finally, the song that started conversations still happening today.
Doing things that you don't understand. But if you love him,
Tammy Wynette's Stand By Your Man was more than a hit. It was a cultural earthquake. Praised, criticized, debated, but undeniably powerful. Tammy wrote it in just 15 minutes with producer Billy Sherrill, and it went on to sell millions. The song tells a simple yet profound story. A woman urging empathy and loyalty in love, even when relationships are difficult. Its heartfelt message resonated with millions of women balancing personal struggles, societal expectations, and love, making it both intimate and universal. At the same time, it sparked debates about gender roles and feminism, turning Wynette into a symbol of both traditional values and complex female experience. The song's impact went beyond country music, influencing pop culture, television, and even political conversations about women's roles in society. Whether people agreed with it or not, everyone felt it, and that's the power of country music.
Stand by your man. Give him 2 arms, the kind.
From heartbreak to heroism, from the holler to the heartland, these songs didn't just shape country music, they shaped history. Because in every lyric, there's a life. In every melody, a memory. And in every song, a little piece of us. Thanks for joining us here at Country Callbacks, where every song tells a story. If this trip down memory lane brought back some feels, hit that like button, share it with a fellow country fan, and tell us in the comments which of these songs means the most to you.